Hi, and welcome to Accelerator Off-Roading. We're talking today to Pam Hughes out of Lone Star. Pam is the business development manager there, and she works with their outside parts sales folks. We are going to spend some time talking today about Accelerator and how it's used by our super users and the outside folks to the best advantage. So, Pam, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate you being here. Why
Thanks
don't
for having
you
me.
tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Well, again, Pam Hughes. I work with the Lone Star Truck Group, the business development manager. We run 13 stores in our on our side of the business, and I work, like you said, with the outside part sales guys and inside part sales guys. People, some ladies, some men. Uh, Try to help them, embrace Accelerator for all that it is capable of doing. Accelerator analytics, we've been employing that in some areas. Just trying to, grow sales. And e-com
Very
is the
good.
best way.
Very good. Very good. How long have y'all been on Accelerator now? Did you join in one of
Uh,
the first people? I feel like you were.
we were, I think it was May 2020, maybe, when we went
Right.
live.
Right.
Very,
Right after
yeah,
COVID started and we all
right.
shut down, we all
Yep.
switched to e-commerce, which was a great tool for that time
Yep.
period
And that's
and
kind of how it
continues to
became
be.
my baby too, because we were on lockdown and I was, you know, I just took it and ran with it. So,
That's the best way to do it, is to take it and
yep.
run with it. How are your folks using it like on a day-to-day basis?
So several different ways. Inside the dealership, all of our parts folks are front counter super users, so they can
Okay.
shop as customers. Um, and a lot of our stores, that is their go-to system now. We used to open, three or four different programs to be able to process an order and look up a part. And now we can do most of it in Accelerator. So that's been the go-to program, and most of our stores we're still working on a couple. Uh, but they can shop as the customer, offer inner circle rewards, those kind of things. And then
Mhm.
outside sales, all of our outside salesmen have iPads, and
Okay.
because it's web based, they can be online placing orders for customers, looking up parts for customers. We use favorites lists a lot for these
Nice.
guys to, just to be more efficient. But what we're trying to do is to keep our outside salespeople from being our number one call-in customer to the phone room or the front counter. So
Right.
this gives them the ability to fend for themselves, kind of,
Well,
and look at
having
parts.
pricing and availability specific for the customer that they're right in front of
Yeah,
definitely helps. They don't
yeah,
have to make that call into the parts department to see if such and such is available, to see
yeah,
what the price is that they can get for them. It really, I imagine, saves a lot of time and headache.
yeah. And again, phone calls, which is the main thing. We don't want our outside salespeople to be our number one phone in customer, and that's sometimes the way it works. But we're trying to get them to be more self-sufficient.
So tell us, was it hard transferring your business from phone calls to being more e-commerce? Was that kind of a challenge for
With
y'all?
with customers, we're still in the very, very early stages of getting customers converted themselves. The more we
Right.
use it, the more they feel comfortable with it.
That makes
And the
sense.
more we can do things like build favorites lists and bookmarks and things like that, the more likely they'll be to embrace it. But for customers, there's really a very small percentage that actually use it themselves. Those that do love it. They've really taken it and ran with it and made it their own. We had to make sure we had processes in place in the dealership to make sure when a customer places an order, it gets processed because,
Sure.
you know, you,
No good placing an order if nothing
no,
happens afterwards.
and there were some stumbling blocks when it came to that. But I think we've got some good processes and good things in place to avoid that now. Um,
Has it changed that relationship with your customers now that they kind of trust the system a little bit better?
um, yeah, I think it has in some ways. I think what we found is that they we're their we're kind of their go-to person now. We're kind of their go-to because it's easy. And
Right.
they can see alternatives, they can see pricing, they can see availability, they can see all these things, and it makes it really easy. And you know, I don't know about you, but if I can find the easy button, I'm going to push it. So
Absolutely. Easy
yeah,
is always the way to go. And
yeah,
I feel like this year, this day and time, we're so used to being able to go to our phone, go to a laptop, look
hmm
up exactly what we want and get it the next day. And I think this is a great tool for helping our customers kind of join this 21st century and
Well,
do that with their parts.
the industry's changing, leaning towards that, but also, I mean, the I don't want to say old school or older people, but that earlier generation of
Mhm.
folks that were um, they placed a little more value on the face to face and the
Sure.
customer relationship. Some of the new people that come in, not that they don't appreciate the relationship, but they don't they don't care as much about the face to face as they do being able to get answers and get moving and get
We're all
parts
so
and so
busy.
on.
It's
Hmm
nice to do something fast
hmm
and reliable.
Right.
So I feel like your management team in particular has really been a motivating factor for y'all getting up on the tool and using Accelerator to the fullest advantage. Would you talk a little bit about that, like the decisions that were made to embrace the product?
I think one of the best decisions that we made was, again, getting all of our inside team set up as front counter super users and really getting them to embrace the tool and use the tool and learn the tool before we went out and really pushed it to customers.
Oh,
Because
that
if
makes
we're
a lot
not,
of sense.
one of the sales pitches is that, not really a sales pitch, but one of the motivating factors behind customers using it is knowing that we're using the same system. So we're looking at the same thing, whether they're 50 miles away or next door. They
Mhm.
can see what we see and feel confident that they're talking about the same part, going to get the right part, and all of those things. But until our people inside were comfortable with the program, it wasn't going to be able to be, we felt like, pushed to customers too much.
Absolutely. It's hard to
You
talk
know.
about something you don't know yourself.
Well,
So,
that's the thing. That was exactly the thing, and that's why it was super important to get OPSs very familiar with it
mhm.
as soon as we could, because those were going to be they were going to be the front lines and really having to learn how to, um, like I said, pitch it to the customers, so to speak. So
Absolutely. So, Accelerator has changed a lot over the last 3 years. We keep adding
yeah.
functionality. We just had a small release not too long ago
Mhm.
that updated a few things. I know we're already talking about plans for 2024. Um, how have you found learning the new functionality goes for you and your team?
Um, for me, it's pretty easy, usually because I'm aware of what's
Sure.
about to come down the pike. Our team, they uh, usually we have to repeat this and actually get in front of them and train them and show them and remind them
Hmm.
a few times before they really start to remember, things like My Garage, which is a
Right.
fabulous part of the tool. But if they don't know it or they don't understand it, then they don't understand how it works for them. And
Right.
My Garage, believe me, is one of the best parts of
And
Accelerator right
for
now.
our listeners, My Garage is a new feature for our customers that have access to Parts Pro X, where they can list the vehicles that they own and do maintenance work on. And it kind of automatically tells them if there's a recall or some warranty issues that come up and links them out to OWL. So it's a great feature in that way. And also you can put notes on it. So if you call a certain vehicle truck 1234, you can search for it by truck 1234 and see the last time you did maintenance on it and that
That's
kind
the
of
best
thing.
part of the tool. That's the
It
best part of
is.
the tool. It almost
It's
eliminates everybody's little VIN binder. If they have Parts Pro, we don't have to go hunt for that unit number to convert it to a VIN number to be able to look up a part. It kind
right.
of takes that out of it. So,
I feel like you in particular have been super great about providing us feedback about and making suggestions about things we could do in the future. Um, we really rely on folks like you who use it every day to give us ideas about things that we could work on or improve for next year. So thank you for that. Do you have any comments about that, about working with our team to get things pushed through?
I will tell you that the feedback button that I harp on all of our people to use, please don't tell me I can't fix it half the time. I wish they would just get used to using that feedback button. But when they do, the response time and the answers are not always they're not always what we want to hear, but you guys
Sure.
respond very quickly. And I think that you do, when me or somebody else sends in a suggestion, I think you guys really do kind of put it on the list and, take it to
Yeah.
heart. It may not get implemented ever. It may not get implemented for 2 years, but I think you guys really do a great job of letting our folks know that you hear them when you
Definitely.
when you
The
respond.
partnership we have with you and our other dealer network partners, it's great to hear, because if we hear the same thing kind of three, four, or five times, then we go, okay, this is a thing that we could fix. What can we do to improve the situation here? And then we just like you said, we add it to the list and we prioritize it and get working on it. And sometimes it takes a little longer than we'd like, but that's because we're trying to do so many changes at once. So, but it's been fun. So you mentioned earlier that just a tiny percentage of your customers were using the tool by themselves versus having the OPS shop on their behalf. Do you have any growth goals for the next year or so?
Oh, for sure. Um, it really depends on the store and the salesman and a lot of variables. The demographic of the people we're calling on in some areas, because it might surprise you, but there's a few that still don't have a computer. Uh, but
Not
but
surprising.
no, but we do annual OPS audits where we do a kind of a deep dive into their performance and their customers and if they're using Accelerator and all of these things. And um, one of the things that we bring out of that OPS audit is what can we do? Give me your top 5 high maintenance customers, or what can we do to get a few more people using the tool? Just even just a few. I mean, we have whatever 20 plus outside salesmen. If we just got 3 or 4 of their customers, new users,
Mhm.
that's 60 plus customers that could be new users themselves. So we're taking small steps, but
Sure.
I think it's going in the right direction for sure. And we try to really encourage after the OPS audit to push that out further.
That's
So
great to hear. If you could tell an OPS from another dealership that was maybe hesitating to use Accelerator, what's the best feature, the best way to kind of win them over?
and OPS
Yes.
is that um, I think one of the best features obviously is that it's web-based, so you don't have to have VPN and laptop and all of those things. You can use it. We have some OPSs that use it on their phone all the time. But the the favorites lists and the My Garage really, but the favorites lists allow you to help manage a customer's inventory for them.
Sure.
They can set up some parameters. I want, this minimum, this maximum, whatever. And if you take the time, and it takes some time to get it set up, that's not a secret, but I think it allows you to help the customer manage the inventory for them, and use stave carts, use whatever other tools are in there to get their approval on that. But if you can make life easier for your customer, they're more likely to call you to
For
buy those
sure.
parts.
For
So,
sure. It's all about being helpful,
right.
you
Yeah.
know? So, well, great. Is there anything else that you want to mention that you think we could benefit from? We're certainly glad to hear it.
Well, the other thing I think that's really helpful for outside salespeople, besides the favorites list, is the alternative parts. Because the last
Mhm.
thing you want to do is look up a part and, tell a guy, no, I don't have it. And then that's the end of the story, when really that's should be the beginning of the story, where you say,
Mhm.
where you can say, well, I don't have this, but I have that. Or, it allows you to carry on the opportunity to make that sale if you see
For sure.
alternatives and other options. So
Yeah,
that's
and
a good thing.
alternatives is something we kind of continuously work on and add to the site. So it's not a one and done. It's an
Right.
always, moving target of adding new parts and adding new crosses and that kind of thing.
The pictures too, and the customers love the fact that that their actual picture, what they
We do
see is
get a
what they're
lot
going
of
to
good
get.
feedback on that.
They love that. And I try to tell them and our folks inside our OPSs, use this, even if they're not going to use it to place an order, use it as a communication tool to make sure that when we deliver that part, it's the part they want, and because nobody, I mean, they don't always call things the same thing. And if we
Exactly.
can, so if we can
Exactly.
make sure before we leave the building that we have the part they want and we have all the parts that they need, whether it
Mhm.
be, a adapter kit or a gasket or whatever it is, if we can make sure that we have all that when we leave the building to deliver the part, then they're going to be happy. And, they're going to be able to do their job. And I don't, some areas have smaller AORs. We have really big AORs, lots of miles. And if we don't get the part right the first time, he's not getting that part today. It's going to be
Right.
another day before he gets it. So,
Yeah, that's an important thing to consider for
yeah,
sure. So it's nice having the images, and I think the
yeah,
schematics are really great too, where
really
it can
good.
tell you exactly it's this part and it goes in this space right here. So
Hmm.
it makes it a lot easier. Even dummies like me can figure it out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's a game changer for customers when they realize that they can do that. It's, it really changes their whole perspective of Accelerator and what it can do for them. So,
well, great. It sounds like you all are using the tool exactly as we hoped it would be used. So we're grateful for
good.
that. Thank you for taking some time today to talk to us about OPS Life and Accelerator. We sure appreciate it.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye bye.